Before I get started, I just wanted to mention that some of my opinions about this game may be influenced by the fact that I've been playing a lot of Mario Odyssey ever since it came out. Both of these games have very similar influences and platforming styles, so I just wanted to put that out there so we don't get some Sonic Forces level of angry commenters or something on this video. Okay, moving on. A Hat in Time is an indie platforming game funded on Kickstarter and developed by Gears for Breakfast, and it places you in control of a human alien thing only known as Hat Kid. Serial killer? Heartless demon? Who knows? She's just chilling in space when the Mafia shows up, breaks her spaceship window, and sends all of her timepieces flying out into the unknown. I mean, look at her, she's pissed. In order to get her fuel back and return home, Hat Kid must recover the timepieces that have been scattered across the world. A Hat in Time is a game that takes inspiration and design influences from platformers and collectathons like Mario Sunshine and Banjo-Kazooie, and it's actually really good, but it's not perfect. Originally, I wasn't sure how to start this review or if I wanted to make it at all. I found Hat in Time through the incredibly positive reception it's been getting over the past few months, and with friends, critics, and thousands of Steam reviews saying that the game is incredible, I think I went in with my hopes a little too high. The game struck a weird chord with me for part of my experience. At first, I thought the game was simply overhyped and I felt like I'd rather just be playing something else, but as I continued on with it, I started to fall in love with the game's style and direction as a whole. It's packed to the brim with memorable characters, surprisingly clever and witty writing, references, and all sorts of scenarios that make it explode with life and happiness. It's the kind of game that makes you smile when you hear other characters speak, when you hear different music tracks play, or when you read a line of dialogue or visit a new area for the first time.
What if I give you your soul back? Will that make you leave?
Got your soul back, you feel relieved, energized, and just the usual amount of empty. Jeez, you can't just go 0 to 100 like that. I thought this was supposed to be a cute game. Although I'm not as much of a fan of the art style as most others are, I still enjoy the amount of creativity and imagination that went into all of the different characters. You've got a mafia boss in a jar, a disco penguin, this rad ghost guy, and a bird. But wait, here's the catch. He's voiced by JonTron.
Oh, hey, little chirper.
The bird is JonTron. Oh shit, the donkey copy alarm. Not again. God damn it. The bird is JonTron. And speaking of voice actors, Gears for Breakfast did a great job by bringing in recognizable voices from the gaming and YouTube community and including some voices that were so good that I actually didn't want to skip through them. The soundtrack is really well done with a lot of memorable and joyful melodies, and it fits the theme of the game perfectly. There's also a ton of little details that you might not even notice that make the game really stand out and show how much work went into every section of its design. For example, when you're sneaking around in a movie studio, Hat Kid holds out a little finger gun. Like, damn, that's so cute. How you even gonna put that in a video game? Even though I absolutely love the design of this game, I felt there were a few shortcomings on the gameplay and technical end of things, but depending on the kind of game you're looking for, they shouldn't be a deal breaker. One of the main issues I had with A Hat in Time is that it's somewhat unoptimized. On a high-end gaming PC, I had to run this game at medium-low settings in order to play it and record it at the same time with a somewhat stable frame rate that still dropped in some sections. Even though it still looked fine, for a game as cartoon-like as this, it seems somewhat odd that the game wouldn't be optimized for a wider audience to play at a nicer quality. I understand that with an indie team, it's harder to optimize a game to the level of a AAA title, but I definitely like to see some sort of fixes or improvements in future updates. There are also various visual and camera bugs throughout the game that make it feel a bit rough at some points, but it's nothing that detracted from my experience outside of some small frustrations. Another slight issue with the game is that with its price tag of $30, it may be too short for people who don't like collectibles and secret stages. If you were to play through the game and get the minimum number of timepieces in each world, you could finish the entire thing in a few hours. Okay, back to the positives. For the most part, the platforming in this game is really solid. There's a lot of options for getting around, and I absolutely love the fact that if you understand the movement and are willing to take risks, you can skip sections and platforms and progress through the game at your own pace in a style similar to Odyssey. You can double jump, dive cancel, wall climb, and perform various other tricks that the game doesn't directly teach you, but add the parkour-like experience of the game. The game's other main mechanic is the ability to quickly switch between multiple hats unlocked throughout the game, which give you powers like the ability to sprint, throw explosive potions, and turn into a block of ice. Oh shit, looks like we got an ice block. Ice block. Oh my gosh, ice block. One of the things that slightly disappointed me about A Hat in Time was that for some of the levels, I found myself getting bored with the way I was progressing. There's so much diversity in the movement options, but the same double jump dive cancel combo was enough to get me past almost every obstacle, and I wished for a bit more platforming variety out of of the game as a whole. I don't think A Hat in Time was designed to be a challenging game, which I can understand. It's more so about having a fun experience, platforming your way through vastly different worlds, and discovering new characters and secrets along the way. Each one of the game's 4 worlds experiments with different types of gameplay, with my favorite being the 3rd world that includes entertaining missions like delivering mail on a scooter and exploring a haunted mansion. Nah, she can't see me under this piano. There's no way. She can't see me, right? You can't catch me, fucker. You'll never take me alive, idiot. Ah, shit. It's really cool to see a platforming game experiment with a lot of different ideas and genres. However, one aspect where I feel the experimentation of level design was a bit awkward was in the 4th world, which is considered a free roam mode with no set missions. It has different mountains to climb, each containing a timepiece and other collectibles. It's not exactly an open world so much as a center hub, with automated paths leading to different platforming challenges. And don't get me wrong, along with the time rifts hidden in each world, the Alpine world had some of my favorite platforming challenges, but the way it was organized just feels off, and the transport. Don't get me started on this, okay, game? I wanna like you, but I can't do that if I have to spend like 30 seconds riding on these fucking zip lines. Despite the problems I had with the game's optimization and my distaste for a few of the levels, after playing through the entire thing and finding a majority of the collectibles, I really enjoyed A Hat in Time as a game. Sure, it's not the longest or hardest platformer out there, but it's filled with so much care and creativity that I really enjoyed the experience as a whole, even when I was just listening to dialogue instead of doing sweet platforming tricks. I felt that childlike sense of wonder I used to get when playing video games that doesn't really happen as often anymore, and I definitely think I'll revisit the game at some point to finish up what I didn't complete already. If you like cute things, funny writing, or just have an itch to play a 3D platformer reminiscent of games like Mario Sunshine, I think there's a lot to love about A Hat in Time. Just don't trust Hat Kid too much, like, that girl is brutal. I mean, seriously, at the end of the game, her friends beg her not to leave, and she just knocks them off her ship into space like, fuck you guys, I'm going home.